hot off the press. That's my TikTok rant for the day. Alright, so today it's time for another speed reviews video, and I had so many products that I've been testing that I actually have to break this into 2 different videos. So I'm going to be filming a separate video on another day of another speed reviews, because just in this video there's probably like around 30-40 products, and then in the next one there's going to be the same. So we've got a lot to cover. Let's just get into it. If you're new here, this is where I do like mini reviews, and it's supposed to be quick. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, but basically product updates on things I've mentioned in past videos or I've just been trying, so I can give you my final thoughts now that I've really tried them. Everything I talk about today is listed down below in the description box. All the makeup on my face today are these products as well, so you'll see me applying them so you can see how a lot of them are in action, and like I said, I've tried a lot of them in other videos too, most of them. Let's start off with the Dior Forever Velvet Veil Primer. So this is a new launch from Dior. This is extremely fragranced and pricey. It's Dior. Dior is always pricey and fragranced. I don't get it. All of their foundations, primers, they're like heavily scented. So besides that, it's supposed to be mattifying and blurring. For me, this one I think is 1% blurring, closer to 0. I don't think this has any blurring. I really think this is more of a mattifying primer, and I don't have oily skin anymore. Had it before Accutane, so I can't say how this controls oil throughout the day. I will say that for me, this one I just find makes my makeup look makeupier on top. I don't like the way makeup sits on this one, and I think it just might not be for my skin type. If you have oily skin, this might be amazing. It might really help to control your oil. Don't get this if you think it's going to be a blurring primer. If you have normal to dry skin, I would say pass on this one. Haven't loved how this looks with any foundation I put over top really, but today I was like, okay, I'm going to use one that I know I really love and I know is super glowy. This is a Smashbox Halo. I love this product on its own and over other primers, and it's very glowy. This did mattify it for sure. Definitely looks more satin matte on top of this primer than it would on its own. This looks better on its own for me than with this primer underneath. A concealer that's a big no from me is the Essence Keep Me Covered concealer. I tried this in a first impressions video. I tried this in the foundation. By the way, I'm going to have a separate foundation updates video coming on foundations I've been testing. Those take longer, even longer than this to film, because foundations, you know how it is, gotta like really try them over and over and over again in different ways for a longer period of time. But this concealer off the bat, immediate no, just makes my under eyes look dry, doesn't give me great coverage, and I really don't like the concept of a buildable concealer. Layering product underneath your eyes I feel like is the opposite of what gives like the smooth, soft, nice look. I'd rather have a high coverage concealer and just use a dot of it. Either way, the finish of this is just not for me. Big pass. I don't think do I have any Essence concealers that I like? I don't think so. I have other stuff from the brand I love, but not their concealers. And also in these videos, I try to give you other options if it's like a new launch hot product, hot off the press, and you might like the idea of it. This is like one of those products where I just have a better option for you. It's the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Luminous Matte Concealer. I don't watch TikTok really anymore, but I've heard that this like blew up on TikTok. I don't really know. Everything blows up on TikTok, okay? Because that's what you gotta do on TikTok, gotta dramatize everything. But anyways, that's my TikTok rant for the day. I have the shade Coconut Flakes. I do like the shade. I can actually wear this. Like right now, I have on like a tiny bit of tanner left over, barely any, like it's almost fully washed off right now. So all the products that you're seeing me wear today in application are on my like fair skin shades. I have been also trying these products on my tanner shades, so some I have like differences with. But anyways, this one works for me, tanner or no tanner, the shade of it. I feel like this isn't as high coverage as I would hope. This one I don't hate, I don't love. If I was getting a high-end full coverage concealer, I would definitely recommend this Milk Makeup one over the Huda Beauty. That one is like the most beautiful finish, wears well under my eyes. I can use it on my face, I can use it all over the place. It just melts into your skin. This one I do see sitting on top of my skin more than I would like. I've tried it as like a spot concealer as well. I just don't think it has that high of coverage like compared to the Milk one. So the Essence one I tried in a video is the Poreless Partner Primer. It's supposed to be mattifying and blurring with niacinamide. And then I went on Amazon, I was just searching for like pore blurring products, because I always love testing. It's like one of my favorite things to test is pore blurring primers, because most of them just aren't. They're just like marketed as that. But this L'Oreal one, the Age Perfect Blurring Face Primer, I don't think this is new. I think it's been around for a long time. I had just never really tried it. And this, out of any of the primers I'm talking about today. I have another high-end one. Actually, let's just do that too. The Huda Beauty Glowish Blur Jam. This is supposed to be also a blurring, smoothing primer. Out of any of these, and I also have a couple other primers I've been testing that are supposed to be blurring, this is definitely the most blurring. This I do see a difference with when I use it around my nose. I don't like putting it all over my face, but I use it around my nose and then on my forehead and a little bit on my chin, and it does soften things up and like fill in your pores nicely. So this is about $10 too. I recommend this one over any of these other ones. Skip the essence. And also the Huda Blur Jam, I really don't understand why this is getting the reviews it is. I don't know, for me I would say out of 10 this gives maybe like a level 4 blur, if that. Today I did put it on over the Dior because I just wanted to show you, but I've used this on its own. I just don't find that this gives me that much blurring, and again, for the price it's like, why? Just go with the L'Oreal, more of the story. I think one of my least favorite products in this entire video is this. So this thing, first of all, it just reminds me of like Flintstones or something. When I first saw this, I liked the packaging, and then the more it's been like in my makeup bin and stuff, the more it annoys me because it just takes up so much friggin' space. This is the Lunar Lip Gel in the shade SH. Okay, I'll have the shade on the screen. I am super into tinted lip oils. I have a bunch I've been testing, but I have a few more that I'm including in this speed reviews video, but it's one of my favorite things to try out right now is just like a tinted pinky lip oil. Every brand is coming out with them. They're just really popular right now. Drugstore, high-end, everyone's launching them. This is supposed to be a tinted lip oil kind of product. The packaging is so bulky in your thing. It's also very heavy, but the most annoying thing about this to me, the product does suck. We'll get there, like the product itself, but the packaging I don't understand. I do not understand because they spent all of this money, I'm guessing, on this, you know, thick, nice, different outer packaging, and then the friggin' applicator is literally like I think this is probably the cheapest applicator they could have picked. It feels like a Dollar Tree like kids makeup lip applicator. It is just so cheap, and it's just ironic because like look at it relative to the size of the rest of this. It's like you're gonna spend all this money on the packaging and then put like a chintzy lame little applicator on. It feels cheap and it just feels gross like going on your lips, and the product itself is also terrible. It's just very thin. There's nothing to it. I feel like the shine just like goes away literally in like a minute. The color is pretty. It's like a nice pink color. The formula itself does nothing for me. I hate almost everything about this. Well, pretty much, yeah, everything. By the way, if you're like a packaging person, years ago now I did a whole video on packaging I hate, like the worst packaging. Let me know if I should do another one of those because I feel very passionate about packaging in general, but especially with makeup. Speaking of lip oil, this is the Ulta Beauty Tinted Juice Infused Lip Oil in the shade Coral Punch. So this one I have had on and I like the color of it and I like layering it with stuff. I don't think the formula itself is an amazing lip oil formula or anything, but like if you're doing the, you know, when Ulta does like buy 2 get 1 free or buy 3 get 1 whatever it is, if you're doing that thing and you like a tinted lip oil, like it could be worth putting in your cart. Should I put a little bit on? It does have a pretty pinkish color, and my mom has complimented my lips before when I have this on. I don't like it as much on its own. It's not one that when I'm going on a walk and I want to just put like something sheer on, I don't reach for this. It's just like a little bit too much color, I feel, but it is pretty layered on stuff and I don't hate it. Don't love it, don't hate it. Okay, let's talk about one that I do love. This was in my last Raves and Rejects video actually, but it's the Amy Cole, I think it's Amy Collet Lip Treatment Oil. This is in the shade Bliss. I am ordering more shades of this if they have ones I'm interested in. I wish they had a pinkier one. I don't think they do, but this is like a different shade than all of the other kind of lip oil products I have. This one is more nude peachy than pink, but the formula of this is so beautiful. It's comfortable, it's not greasy feeling, it gives you that shine. It's really pretty layered on stuff. I have it layered on something else on my lips right now. It has like a very slight vanilla scent. It's not overpowering, and for being on Sephora it's pretty reasonably priced. Today I layered it over top, should have done this one first, but today I layered it over top of the Essence Hydra Matte lipstick. The watermelon scent of this just friggin' kills me. It is so strong. Oh my god, so strong. The shade of this is really nice. It's like a pretty cool tone shade, and I actually love these two together. The tone is really pretty. It reminds me of like a MAC combo. If you like a cool tone lip, these two together are pretty. However, I just can't with the watermelon scent of this. Also, I don't know why, because the other Essence lipstick formula linked down below, I like that one. This one I feel like does just emphasize the lines in my lips a little bit more. So like I wouldn't wear this on its own, but when I put the lip oil over top, it does help to like fill in those lines and smooth everything out. But on its own, it isn't like a smoothing soft matte. I would say it does like settle into the creases a bit more than I would like. This is the Rare Beauty Elevate Matte Lip Cream. This is nice and soft. I do like that this is matte, but it doesn't emphasize the lip lines. It's nice and just smoothing, and it's very wearable. Like the shade is a nice, not too orange, not too pink. It just is for my skin tone. Like it does just kind of look like really nothing's on, but give your lips like a matte, soft look. I do like this one. However, this is definitely dupable, and I'm working on a drugstore makeup dupes video, so I'm not gonna spoil it here, but this is for sure dupable. Okay, this is the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Liquid Bronzer. This is a big ass thing of bronzer when you think about it. The packaging just gets a little messy. I find it annoying to like try and squeeze out the perfect amount. And this is interesting. I do think it's like I would call this like a luminous bronzing gel. On my fair skin shade, I don't love the tone on me. I think it pulls a little bit too orangey, but if I have a little tanner on, then it does look nice. It doesn't look too orangey, so it's just gonna, you know, depend on your skin tone. I don't think it's incredible. I don't think you need to like run out and buy it, but I don't think it's a bad product either. I just think it's kind of more natural, glowy. So also if you're someone who doesn't like putting foundation on, but you like a glow and you just want something like very jelly and natural, you might like this. The look of it, I would say, is similar to the Merit bronzing stick. This gives like a sheer glowy kind of bronzer. This gives the same kind of effect. Different, you know, formulas. This is a stick, but similar end result. This is the new Tarte Amazonian Clay Blurring Powder Foundation. Definitely don't think this is blurring whatsoever. Now I've tried this, by the way, as like a topper, like a finishing powder, and then also on its own. Powder foundations you can use however the heck you want. I usually use them as like finishing powders. This is in the shade 26 and light. I like the neutral tone of this one actually, but every time I put this on, it just looks like, it looks exactly like the MAC Studio Fix powder to me. So if you like that, you might love this powder. That to me just looks like a heavy powder that like we've kind of moved on from. I feel like there are so many better powders out there now than MAC Studio Fix that give the same kind of coverage. Like for example, the Make Up Forever powder, which actually I just saw they're relaunching, but definitely gonna be trying that. This basically to me equals MAC Studio Fix, so depending on how you feel about that. Just looks too powdery, too heavy. I have a lot of negative things to say about a lot of these products, but that's just because like the ones that were really highlights to me, I mentioned in my January Reeves and Rejects video. So like a lot of the makeup that I've been trying that I really love was featured in that video. So if you're like, okay, I want to know some more good products, watch that video. I do have some good products in here too. Okay, let's talk about a launch that I was so excited for because this is like right up my alley, and I love Lawless's other lip products, but these are their new like tinted balms. Love their lip gloss, love their lip mask. So I was bummed by this one. The formula of these, I don't know, they feel cheap. They feel very thin. They don't feel moisturizing. And also the color, I think they're almost too pigmented. I can never get that like sheer. I like the look where they're tinted, especially for like a balm like this, where they're tinted, but you can still see your natural lip coming through, where it just looks like your lips, but better and juicier and shinier. These don't give me that. These are too pigmented in my opinion, and also not plump enough, not juicy enough. They just don't feel good on the lips to me. I'm really bummed about that because I had high hopes, but I would say my favorite shade is Baby Doll or Lover. I do like that they make a really light pink shade, because if you have really fair skin and you struggle to find pinks that are like light enough, the shade Pink Marshmallow is actually very light. They're just not ones that I've been reaching for and like looking forward to using. If you want something very similar, just better formula, I've been loving this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Crystal Happy Kiss. By the way, the lip liner I put on today is the House Labs in the shade Rule. And I heard about this from Shelby, the makeup artist who did my makeup in San Diego. She was talking about this on her Instagram, and I like, first of all, I like the click up packaging. It's very satisfying, but this is same concept, tinted balm, but it's not too pigmented. It has a nice sheen to it, really pretty without makeup or over stuff. And it's like the perfect amount of pink, slight vanilla scent, not overpowering, nothing crazy. And this is one that I can throw in my purse, apply without anything else on or without looking in the mirror. Okay, the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blushes. So these are a new launch from Essence. I was so excited to try these because I love their baked highlighter. It's one of the best makeup products of all time in my opinion. Are we still recording? Oh, hold on, I gotta change the battery. All right, new batteries in, we're ready to roll on Essence. I picked up 3 shades. The lightest one is Pink Flush. Let's start with this one. This one has glitter in it. It has glitter flakes in it, so I've tried it as like a blush topper. A lot of times I love using glowy pink blushes, like the Ciate ones, as highlighters slash blush toppers. The Ciate ones, 10 out of 10, incredible for that purpose. They give you like the prettiest pinky sheen, like the ones I'm talking about down below. This I've tried to use in that way, but this has glitter in it. I don't love that. Wish they didn't put glitter in this shade. The other ones don't, just this one out of the 3 I have. So it's kind of between these 2 shades for me. So Rosy Rosewood and Berry Cheeks. I do want to order a couple other shades because I do like the formula of these. Rosy Rosewood, I find myself reaching for more. I feel like both of these I always put on and then I'm like, okay, I need to mix something else in. I need to like jazz it up or mix the 2 of them together. So I think I just need to order more shades of these because they do have a lot of shades. I put it on top of a cream blush today, which I'll talk about in a second. They're pigmented, but they blend out. They have a nice sheen. The liquid blush, I keep going out of order, should have started with this, but the liquid blush I have on today is the Blush Bomb by Revolution, and this is in the shade Dolly Rose. So this is, I would say, not that pigmented relative to other liquid blushes. Like some of them, you know, like Rare Beauty, you just have to put like 2 dots and then it's, whoa, it's a lot. This you can like, you know, really go ham with. It's not too sheer, but it's not too pigmented. The shade Dolly Rose isn't my favorite. I'm not into like the baby doll pinks right now. I definitely had a phase where I was, but right now I'm into more like a little bit deeper, a little berry, kind of like this color they have on right now. These have a satin finish. They do have a glow. I like the formula enough to where I do want to try this in another shade. This blush totally surprised me. This is the Too Faced Cloud Crush Blurring Blush. I thought I was gonna get that on the first try. In the shade Velvet Crush. It does have a scent, but it's not too strong. It smells kind of sunscreeny. This is so beautiful. So this is a matte blush, and I really like using matte blushes like layered with other stuff. If I have a really glowy face going on, it's nice sometimes to like balance things out by having a matte blush and then bringing it back with a highlighter, or just doing all matte cheeks with like a glowy rest of the face. It's just nice to switch it up. It's one of those shades that it just doesn't look impressive in the pan at all, but when it's on your face, it looks totally different, and it does have this just softening effect to it where it kind of just like diffuses your cheeks a little bit. So if you have textured skin or acne, I do think this might be a powder product that you might like because of that. I love this enough to where I would buy a second shade of it, even though this shade is like perfect. I love it. You can see me applying this in this video. I'll link it down below too. I really layered up the blushes. I forgot about this one. I also used this today. This is the Merit Après Flush Bomb. So looking at this when I first got it, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be like way too dark. It looks totally different in here than it does even, you know, on my finger like that. It is a really pretty, just like flushed pink with a berry undertone. It's very pretty. It is glowy. I would say it's more on the like natural sheer-ish side. So if again you like the idea of like the Physicians Formula product and the Merit stick, I think you would like this. I've been liking layering it with stuff. I have been liking wearing it on its own too, but it isn't one of those that like adds coverage to your face. It is more of that sheer balmy kind of feel, but it also isn't like tacky like a balm. It does dry down and it feels like just nice and soft, not sticky. Okay, Rare Beauty highlighters. I have thoughts. My favorite shade out of all of them is Mesmerize. It's this like pinky tone. The thing with these are that they are so pigmented. I started using it with my bigger like blush powder brush because they're just so friggin' pigmented, and now I just have been like pinching it and then kind of like going in. But even today, I mean, I'm glowy and I did the tiniest dab with like a big fluffy brush. I do wish they made these a little bit less opaque. However, the shade, especially this one, the shade Mesmerize, I do really like, and I like the color, I like the way it sits on the skin, but it is intense. It is like a, you know, whoa strobing kind of highlighter, which is interesting that they chose to make it this pigmented, because I feel like the opposite is popular in makeup right now, where it's more of like the natural glow. But the nice thing is that because they're so pigmented, I love using these as eyeshadow. The shade Exhilarate, which is the lightest like champagne-y gold shade, this is what I have right here on my eye, really pretty as eyeshadow all over the lid. And then I love this for the inner corner shade. I don't like the lightest shade in Lighten on my face though. Love this for an inner corner, just like pop of white. It looks really pretty on the inner corner. But they have this like soft but dry kind of feel to them. They're an interesting feel, but I mean, they're intense. And some of the shades do have glitter when they hit the sun. One thing I do like doing though, there's a lot of do's, to kind of tone it down, you can actually put this on first, like before your blush, and then go in with a matte blush like the Too Faced one, and that evens it out and balances out really nice. And the highlighter is so intense that it still comes through underneath, but it's not like as blinding and looks more like natural beaming glow. In my January Raves and Rejects, I talk about 2 pinky highlighters that I would recommend over these ones. The rest of my eyeshadows are the Patrick Ta palette. I purchased this because this is like one of those palettes that I feel like every makeup artist talks about. It's just very popular. And here's the thing with this palette for me. I've been using this almost every time I do eyeshadow. I have a couple other like cool tone palettes I'll switch between, but if I want warms, I've been reaching for this. Overall, I love the mattes. I think the mattes are 10 out of 10. The tones and mattes, 10 out of 10. Patrick Ta in this palette nailed it in a way that like Charlotte Tilbury really nails her tones. There's something about these tones that are just very flattering, make your eyes pop. The mattes are super easy to blend out. I never go in with the mattes and don't like how my eyeshadow looks. It's a very effortless blend. You get these 2 like cream shades, which I'm just not going to get a lot of use out of. I did try it for like a lid shade. For me, not something I'm going to be using. I like the darker 2 shimmer shades, but then these shades I just don't find myself using a lot, if ever, because these are like almost chalky, flaky toppers. They're not like pigmented shimmer shades, but I just don't like the texture of them. And then this shade I just don't understand, because this one is like a matte but with glitter in it. Just wish they made this fully matte. It does have specks of glitter in it that you can see on your eyes. So overall, I do find myself wanting to reach for this a lot. I enjoy doing my makeup with it. I especially love the mattes. I almost wish Patrick Ta came out with a single strip for mattes, because if that was the case, I would like be having that in my makeup bag all the time. Rare Beauty product that really did nothing for me. This is the Under Eye Brightener in light to medium. This like blew up. I don't get it. I talked about this in another video, but I just think instead of this, if you want like a brightening kind of lightweight natural eye product, get this Becca Smashbox one instead. It is more moisturizing, it's brightening, it just sits better underneath my eyes, it wears longer. This has like a metal tip and it's supposed to be like a sheer just like brightening product. It makes my under eyes look worse than when I don't have anything on underneath them. So for me, there's just no point in using this. It makes my eyes look drier than without it. So this is a pass for me. The Tartelette Tubing Mascara. I've been trying so many different mascaras. I love, like, the one that really raised the bar for all mascaras is the Tower 28 mascara. That mascara is incredible. I feel like that has forever raised the standards for like every mascara brand. Your lashes look voluminous, but lengthened and separated, and it doesn't smudge at all. I mean, that out of all the mascaras I've tried, I would say that's the closest to like a near perfect mascara for me. So keep in mind that now the bar is like real high. But the Tartelette Tubing Mascara, for me, it just doesn't do as much at all as the Tower 28 one. It's more expensive than that one. There's nothing like terrible I can say about this. I just don't find that it gives me like the lash look that I like. It doesn't give me enough volume and separation. And I just feel like my lashes can kind of like stick together too much. For the price, I mean, this one it's a no. I put on corner lashes just here out today, but I'm showing you applying these 2 mascaras before I put on lashes. So these 2 are a combo deal for me. I've used this mascara primer with a bunch of different mascaras now. It's the Maybelline Sky High Primer. This is a lash primer, so you put it on first step and then you apply your mascara over top. This one is tinted black though, which is nice. A lot of these, most of them are white. And it just has like a flexible wand. I actually wish they didn't make it as flexible because I don't love those, but it's just like a flexible rubber wand. So the key with this is that you want to put on just like, don't try and build this up, just put on one thin coat your lashes, and then let it almost dry down. Don't get it all the way dry, but you don't want it to be like still fully wet. Then go in with this mascara. This is the Essence Lash Like a Boss Instant Volume and Length. So like I said, I've tried this mascara primer with a bunch of different mascaras now. I find that with the mascaras that I like, I don't need this primer and it almost makes them look like too clumpy. But with mascaras that I don't like on their own, which makes sense because usually those ones I don't like aren't giving me enough volume, this can really make a difference. This Essence mascara I don't like on its own, doesn't do anything for me on its own, but these 2 together are such a nice combo. Doesn't flake on me, gives me volume and separation. 1 coat of this and then 2 coats of Essence. I mean, the lashes are looking looking good when I do that. I think the Maybelline primer could be worth getting just if you're someone who likes to try a bunch of mascaras and it's hard to find good mascara you like. So I do feel like this has made a difference with the mascaras that I don't initially like. It's like a good first step product that you might be able to like and try using with other mascaras that aren't quite doing it for you. So for being, you know, drugstore pricing, it might be worth it because it might save you from wasting other mascaras that you've bought if you don't like them on their own. This one really does it for me, but like I said today, right now, I did put on half lashes just on the outer half. They're the Velour Understated. This is a cream blush by Essence. It's their Baby Got blush. This is a new one in the shade Rosé All Day. Love the shade of this. The formula is really nice. It is just like a nice affordable drugstore cream blush. However, again, the watermelon scent is truly unbelievable. It smells exactly like a watermelon lip smackers, and it is strong, folks. I can't even imagine. Well, I guess I did do it that day. I think in the first impressions video, I wore these at the same time. Brave, truly brave. For me, it's a no because of the scent. If they removed the scent, I think this would be a blush that I really like. Blends out totally fine, and I like the color, and it just has like a nice pretty finish. I would say it's more of a satin finish, but not too much, not too glowy. Oh my god, I can't believe I haven't talked about this yet. Okay, the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Press Powder. So if you just get this powder and you like do the finger swatch like I did, I think in that video when I first got it, you're like, whoa, okay, this is gonna be just like a highlighter. This is so interesting because if you use a small dense brush with this or like your finger, it can very much be a highlighter. Like it looks that shimmery, but then when you use a powder brush with it, it does this thing where it truly just softens your face and does give this like light, I would say it's like a light blur. It gives this just like diffused look to your face, but it's not mattifying. It does give like a glow without being overboard. It's super rare and hard to find a powder that has a sheen, like a glowy-ish finish, but that you can also put around your pores and it's not like glow overboard at all. It does just like really nicely blend things together, give you this diffuse kind of look. And I've been liking it for using how I did today, where I'll put it on kind of like all over after I use all my cream products. I would say it has definitely sheer coverage. This isn't gonna like add a lot of coverage, but it definitely doesn't take away the coverage, which a lot of my powders can take away the coverage of whatever foundation you have underneath. It's very unique. I don't know if I quite have any other powders I can think of that this like truly compares to. It looks wise, it looks like it's gonna be like the Laura Geller pressed powder foundation, but that has more coverage and it looks more powdery. This is just a unique powder. This comes in 2 shades, but I think that's probably fine because it is so sheer that it's really not giving off like color payoff. It's more of just like a finishing powder. This is the Can't Stop Staring Mascara. This is Gwen Stefani's brand. Love the packaging, right up my alley. This I have actually been using very frequently, only in my corner lashes because it has this really interesting ball tip on the end, which is weirdly really nice for getting in. I feel like there's always this area of my lashes that are hard to reach with like a big mascara wand because then you're almost like getting it on your cheekbone. This is super nice because I can angle it like this, making sure I don't poke my eyeball out, and just get right in those outer lashes really easily. Today I also used it for bottom lash mascara and it works for that. It's not like incredible, but it works for the lower lashes. What I like is that this one also doesn't flake on me. It doesn't transfer down. So when I am doing my corner lashes or bottom lashes, it just stays in place. I like this mascara on its own. I don't think it's like absolutely incredible on its own. And I do feel like as it's been open and as it's kind of like dried out more, I feel like whenever I use this on its own, I always have to add something to it. But I do really like using this for that purpose for the outer lashes. Don't know if you need to like go out of your way for that because I'm sure there's like a drugstore version that has that little ball applicator. Actually, yeah, there definitely is. I'll have to go back and see. What next? Okay, this is the About Face Fluid Eye Paint in the shade, I think this is a shade matte. Yeah, shade is matte. So this is like a cool toned, light brownish color, kind of milky chocolatey brown color. I wanted to get this. I think originally I was thinking I would use this as an eyeshadow base. It's fine. I don't think you need to go buy it. It blends out easily for being like a matte eye paint, but it's not quite as pigmented. I feel like I can still see, you know, some like eye freckles and things coming through underneath. The tone can look like a little bit muddy almost. I don't think it really does a whole lot for my eyeshadow on top. It's not one that like, you know, the eyeshadows cling really well to. So for me, I think I would just pass on this one. The Flower Beauty Spotlight Liquid Highlighter. This is a no from me. It does remind me a lot of the Charlotte Tilbury one, almost exactly, but for me, like I don't like the Charlotte Tilbury one. It emphasizes my texture. It does not sit well on me. I don't think it's flattering on the skin, especially for being like a liquid product. And this one just does the same thing. So if you like the Charlotte Tilbury, you might love this. If you don't like the Charlotte Tilbury, you probably wouldn't like this either. But this one I do like using as eyeshadow. It is pretty as eyeshadow. All right, we're coming down to the last couple here. So this is the Flower Beauty Supernova Priming Whip. I tried this in a first impressions video. This is like literally a can of whipped cream here. So you just need to put out a little bit because it like really expands and spreads. It is like whipped primer. I think this would be fun for like someone just getting into makeup or something. Like if you have a daughter who's just starting to wear makeup, who's like in her early teens or whatever. It's like a fun, interesting thing. However, the scent of it, ugh, it just smells gross to me. It is very, very glowy. It spreads a lot, so you really only need like a third of that amount. I just wanted to show you how it foams up. It does have a bluish tint even when you blend it out on your face, so that can be brightening for certain skin tones, but shouldn't be an issue if you're like applying foundation over top. But it does have this like cool tone kind of tint to it. I feel like I have glowy primers that for me, I just don't really ever want to reach for this one. Oh my God, Parker. All right, I think that was everything. That was a lot. There's gonna be more coming in the second one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Everything I talked about today is listed down below in the description box. If you wanna know my favorites from a lot of the stuff I've been testing, the January favorites video is up. So I would check out that one too, because I know I just shat-talked. Is that, what's it? Shit talk. Nope, shit talked is already past tense. Shat talked, that's a new one. And if a product wasn't in this video, it's because I'm still trying it and it will be in the next speed review. So like if I've, you know, like the House Labs bronzer, that's coming. New Charlotte Tilbury matte blushes, those are coming. But I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.